Hey everybody, what is going on? It is Crypto Bobby. If you are having a great day, great night, wherever you might be watching it from, coming to you right now from JFK Airport. Got a flight out to Dubai in, I don't know, an hour or two at some point in time. So going out there for the World Blockchain Forum, one of the events. I'm actually a media partner for it, so it should be a good time. Should be a fun time. What is up, Obzen? What's up, Lux? Hope you guys are having a good one. Um, Eric, Wolf, what's going on? What's up? Yeah, so sitting in the JFK airport right now, there's literally, oh my God, if I flip this around, I found like the one quiet part of the airport, although I could have gone to a lounge, but I'm just way too lazy for that. If you're just hopping in here, hit that like button. Just this video gets out to as many people as possible. Hit that thumbs up button. That'd be fantastic. And yeah, just wanted to pop in, obviously answer your questions, talk a little bit about what is going on in the markets. Bitcoin right now kind of battling the $8,000 mark for the past 24 hours or so. I've seen some conflicting things across the board from a lot of different people. There are some technical analysts, some chartists that are pretty bullish in the near term. Other people are saying, other people are calling this a bull trap for the time being and saying all the bulls are about to be in disbelief, blah blah blah. I think it obviously remains to be seen. There's no level of exact certainty as to what will 100% happening. As to what will 100% happen. I wouldn't doubt if the market chills out for a little bit of time and kind of settles down for the time being. I'll be interested to see too. I know somebody had mentioned a little bit on the whole Syria thing. So how that might affect obviously there's larger implications to that. So I don't want to downplay those implications at all because it's essentially potentially a war. So I don't really want to get into the politics of that, but um, how might that affect the markets as well? I think a lot of people have been like quietly hinting at like, hey, is this something that's going to affect the markets? Is political instability going to be a positive for Bitcoin, a positive for the cryptocurrency markets, or is political instability going to scare people from the overall stock market, scare people from the overall crypto markets, and pull things back quite a bit? We'll have to see. I think I'm not too worried about it for the time being. It doesn't seem like it's going to be the biggest worst deal in the world, worst deal on the planet. So we'll have to see exactly how it pans out. What happened to Pearl today? Didn't pump. Who's the CEO? I have no idea. What's going on with that. Patrick Riddle, what's up, dude? Been a while. Wife had a baby a few weeks ago. Just coming up for Eric. Congrats, Patrick. Everybody say congrats to Patrick on his newborn. That's pretty awesome. Um, Hope all is well, and I think you're in Charleston or somewhere down there. I always remember that, man. But congrats on the baby. And so this will be, like I said before. So I'm heading out to Dubai for the World Blockchain Forum. There are a number of you, if you guys want to check that out. So it's held by Keynote. I went to their conference in Miami. I went to the North American Bitcoin conference in Miami. That was like 5,000 people. This one I think is a lot less. It's maybe like 500 people. I think the Korean Jew is going to be there. You guys follow him on Twitter. I know he's got a bunch of Twitter followers. I think he does some YouTube videos as well. I think I might get a chance to meet up with him. Wan Chain is going to be there. There's a lot of some pretty solid companies. Check out the website if you want. If there's anybody specifically you want me to talk to, if you want, no, it's not a sponsored trip. So they did pay for my ticket, but I'm paying for my own travel. So yeah, I did not buy into Wan Chain. I was waiting on Wan Chain. It was at around 45,000 satoshis, and it was around 45,000 satoshis. I was kind of waiting for it to dip below 40,000 satoshis. It like literally just dipped below. I remember I was sitting on Coinbase. Really, the second it dipped below 20 or 39,000, it was like 39.5 thousand satoshis, and slowly recovered, pretty quickly recovered, and just never looked back. I think it essentially doubled on a Bitcoin value pairing perspective, and I missed out on that move. So I've been holding out. I've seen some people had announced taking profit on Wanchain because that was a pretty solid move. On top of the 10x, I think from the ICO, there's a certain point in time it was a 17 or 18x. So I was hesitant to get in on when it was a 10, 11x. I'm even more hesitant to get in when something's at an 18 plus x or whatever it might be at. So what about POA? Haven't done a ton on POA. So Mitch, good point. Although this has been something that's been said, for a long time. So I think the days of regular folks like us becoming rich from crypto and Bitcoin have come and gone, and the whales won't allow it. It'll never build up to where it was in such a short time of profit. I get that for sure. I get the thoughts there. I get the concerns. On the other end of the spectrum, though, on the other end of the spectrum, when I got into the market in 2013, 2014, there were a lot of people that were like, I bought the top 2014. I absolutely bought the top in 2014. I bought it literally like at the exact top. Lost my shirt, got my butt kicked. I lost my shirt, got my butt kicked. But there were a lot of people back then that were saying like, hey, we're never going to see another run like this. This is never going to happen again. It's not going to happen again. We're screwed. It's not going to, it's never going to do this. And then this, like the past year, 2017, was another mind-melting, face-ripping run. So, you know, I think it's tough for anybody to specifically say, hey, this is going to happen or this isn't going to happen. But I personally do believe that there are going to be opportunities. This is a very new asset class, and this is a very developing technology, and having the opportunity to, work in the space now and get a chance to meet with a lot of different individuals, whether it's family offices. So I had a dinner the other night with a family office, large family office, a lot of money, and they were talking, and they said they had met with, so they are from Asia. There's a family office from Asia. They met with they had 5 different meetings in New York City, and they said at every single meeting, cryptocurrency or blockchain technology came up. At every single meeting for the family office, that somebody brought that up in some nature. I think there is a ton of interest, personally, in in large scale money to get into the space. And I do think that will be beneficial in the long term. I think that'll be beneficial in the medium term and long term. Short term, I think it's slowly trickling in, but we'll have to see. Kitchen and craft, really good point. All this volatility makes it a trader's market. Learn technical analysis, take it slow, make some money. It's not going to take off without you. So when I was in San Francisco earlier this week, there was a really good panel. It was Wall Street So there's a really good panel on Wall Street investors, and there was somebody from a prop trading firm, and the guy was literally like, this market is basically a trader's wet dream. Like, it's, there's a ridiculous amount of volatility. The market is still highly inefficient. It's not as inefficient as it was, maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, but it's still highly inefficient to the point where traders can absolutely make a monstrous killing. So I think there's a bunch of people talking about Verge, XVG. As a lot of you guys know, I haven't been a Verge fan in the past. I've been critical of it. I've gotten yelled at and called a FUD or whatever. I don't know. There's something going on with a partnership or something like that. If anybody wants to specifically let me know about kind of what the deal is with Verge, happy to hear about it. But I've never really been a big partnership scam. Shocker. Shocker. Is that when they asked you guys to donate your money to absolutely nothing?
For passengers with an online boarding pass who have not had their documents checked to receive the gate A6.
Ledger and Verge, that's the partnership. His partnership when the IRS to pay off his IRS bill. Yeah. Would you buy $1,000 of ADA now? Wait for the dip to buy to 15 cents again. How would you CTO? So the volume and the spike in the hour chart was unnatural. I mean, so that the volume, I'm assuming you're speaking in regards to, I'm assuming you're speaking in regards to the big move from sub $7,000 to 8,000 plus. That's kind of what I'm assuming you're talking about there. With that with that being said, I think that I think personally that Ari Paul, if you want to, so if you want to look at a really good Twitter thread, go to Ari Paul's Twitter. He spoke yesterday. There was somebody, I forget his name. I think it's Nicholas Weaver. He's not a fan of cryptocurrency. He's not a fan of Bitcoin whatsoever. But I think Nicholas Weaver was one of the ones that he had tweeted basically, what happened with the Bitcoin run from $7,000 to $8,000 was absolute like market manipulation. And Ari Paul's like, actually, it's not. It's called a short squeeze, and kind of went on. There was an argument back, not necessarily an argument because Ari's not really like. I don't think that's really his style, but it was an educational. It was an educational back and forth dialogue on why it was a short squeeze and kind of what the short squeeze deal was. So definitely something you want to check out on Ari's Twitter. You might have to go to the tweets and replies because I think it was a reply, but it was really solid. And if you are new to, if you're just joining the video, hit that thumbs up button, hit the like button. That'd be fantastic. Definitely gets the video out to as many people as possible. And sorry for any bad audio or whatever. Literally sitting in JFK right now. So got here a little bit early for the flight. I think it got delayed a little bit of time. But, any news on a new Coinbase token? I think speculation around a Coinbase token is silly. It's a waste of time. You don't do it. I think Coinbase is going to be very very specific in regards to. I think they're going to be personally. I think they're going to be very methodical in regards to how they add a new token. They are Coinbase's biggest asset right now. Is they're pretty much above board when it comes to all regulation. They are essentially above board on everything. And they're probably, from like a regulatory perspective, they are in the least amount of hot water. Hot water. I don't know why I said that. No, Coinbase will not add DGB. I think they are in the least amount of hot water, and they're only going to add something that is very, 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 very clearly not a security, because Coinbase is not going to put their their company and their business at risk by adding a potential security asset to their platform. What is your biggest holding right now? If you don't mind me asking, you could go to my website, cryptobobby.com, and check out the portfolio. So somebody said support just broke. We're going down. Unfortunately, I only have my phone up, so I can't really see what's happening with the charts. If you guys want to let me know the price of it, happy to take a look at it. But yeah, I can't see the price in real time right now, unfortunately. But Jesus, there's like an army of, I don't know what this is. So, support going down like Mark Sanchez. Yeah, I appreciate that. So I'm just popping through. How long is the flight? I hope 12 hours. Something like 12 hours, I think. And short-term indicators show a 30% drop. I personally don't think we're going to see a 30% drop on the overall price of Bitcoin. If we're at 79.65 right now, I mean, that doesn't cause me a tremendous amount of concern for the time being. Henry mentions, am I still DCAing into the market right now? Yeah, I'm dollar cost averaging more than ever, to be honest. I'm looking at dollar cost averaging at this point in time as a pretty large opportunity. I do think, especially with Bitcoin and some of these proof of work coins, I do think that we're in a really solid position in the market right now. I think we're in a really solid position in the market right now to see some pretty outsized gains. I mean, there were people that, I mean, the whole thing that's crazy and the funny thing to me, if you wanted to buy it at $20,000, why would you not want to buy 3 times as much at, why would you not want to buy 3 times as much at 7? So. So how often do I DCA? A few times a week. Sometimes it's daily, but usually a few times a week. It's kind of when I'm looking. What was that noise? Yeah, like I said, I'm in the airport, so it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Just, the drop will come. It has to come. I mean, the drop already. I mean, obviously the drop. I mean, we went from an $800 billion market down to $300 billion. Like the drop came. If you're still waiting for a drop, I think you're going to be sorely. We can certainly fall a lot lower. I mean, that's definitely happening. But like to say like, oh, the drop has to come. The drop has to come. We already dropped to like 2. People are waiting for. People want $3,000 Bitcoin. People want $4,000 Bitcoin. Could we see that? Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely possible. Will we? I don't know. If we see that, I'm going to buy like crazy. I'll tell you that much. Big gainer this year. I did read the Zilliqa white paper on the last. I did read the Zilliqa white paper on my last flight to San Francisco. I liked it. It was definitely interesting. I have some questions in regards to the PBFT consensus mechanism that they use. I think, and just in regards to like sharding, how that works over from like a real scalability perspective, because it basically they kind of said it provides infinite scalability up to a certain point. Like, what's that certain point? And I do think it's interesting because there's a lot of stuff with Ethereum right now where Ethereum is trying to build scalability into the platform. There's all these other platforms out there that are trying to build scalability into it. If people can develop on Zilliqa, then that could be interesting. Although from like a developer acquisition perspective, they have some different. I think they have a different programming language. That's one of the things about some of the other platforms that I do think is interesting. Some of the platforms like I think Cardano is allowing people to port over Solidity applications. Hashgraph is allowing developers to develop apps on. Basically, is selecting Hashgraph as the is essentially selecting Hashgraph as the main app to, or excuse me, the main programming language. Solidity is the programming language for Hashgraph. So, who knows? So one thing I would ask too is if you guys have any specific white papers you recommend I read, definitely let me know in the comments here. Would be happy to. So I'm probably going to read, let's say 3 maybe on the flight. I mean, it's a 12-hour flight, but I'm going to 12 hour. It's a 12-hour flight, but I think I'd like to read a few white papers in addition to just watching a bunch of movies. So I'll probably do like an AMA on Twitter, and then or just something to kill time, and then read some white papers as well. Read Dragon Chain's white paper, track Origin Trail. I made a Origin Trail play before, PRL plus SHL. You don't sleep. Nah, never sleep. Yeah, but if you got any good white papers, definitely sound off in the comments, and I will I'll go back to this and take a look. I already read the Nucleus Vision white paper, so that's good. New Amsterdam. What's up, Cali Crypto? Icon white paper. I did read the Icon white paper. I haven't gone through the Syndicator white paper. Um, cool. I did not see Cardano's audit yet. Will Tron overtake Ethereum? No, I don't think so. Like somebody said, yeah, if you read the Tron white paper, if you want the IPFS white paper, I heard that's a good one. Thoughts on the Icon white paper? I thought Icon was interesting. the way they are. John's white paper, yeah, it's copy and paste. Yeah, ask Vitalik about that one. What do you think about the Circle platform to buy, sell crypto? So I haven't gotten a chance to interact too much with Circle yet. I do know that they have. So Circle obviously bought. So Circle, if you're not familiar, Circle is a cryptocurrency startup company. Circle is a cryptocurrency startup company. A lot of people freak out about it because I believe they are Series C, so they're not an ICO. They did traditional VC fundraising. Their Series C round was led by Goldman Sachs. So Goldman Sachs is an investor in Circle. It doesn't own Circle, so that's somebody said. Bacchus said Goldman Sachs owns Circle. They don't own Circle, but they were a lead Series C investor. But there's, I believe, about 15 maybe investors, institutional investors. There's a lot of them in Circle, and so Circle I think started off trying to build a consumer product. The consumer product didn't pan out that well, and now Circle primarily pivoted their business over to an OTC. So I think they do very well with an OTC trading desk, over-the-counter trading for large investors. That's definitely one of the things. That kind of they've done. And then they also recently, if you're not familiar, Circle acquired Poloniex, which is interesting because apparently, even though Poloniex has a ton of shitcoins on their platform, apparently they received some level of regulatory approval or guidance or stamp from regulators in regards to the acquisition. And a lot of people say, hey, Goldman wouldn't have let them acquire. At the same point in time, Goldman is one of probably 10, 15 investors. It's not like the CEO of Goldman Sachs was like, hey, in the Circle, you are acquiring Poloniex. Like it's not really how it works. So I think it's a positive sign. It'll be interesting to see how Circle pans out. And I think a lot of people have talked about maybe the team at Circle paring down what Poloniex is like paring down the number of trade pairings on Poloniex, having some type of fiat on ramp to Poloniex, as well as crazily enough, I think Poloniex had 170,000 support tickets open, and they've cleared off 140,000. Centra on the biggest gainers list. I wouldn't touch Centra with a 10-foot pole. That's the definition of just absolute speculation. I mean, there's nothing there anymore. There's nothing there with Centra anymore. The founders got arrested by the SEC. One of the founders tried to leave the country and basically got stopped at the airport. So taking a look at some of these questions. Thoughts on NEO in the short term? I haven't done any, I haven't seen too much technical analysis, or even, I feel like a little bit of the excitement around NEO has kind of cooled off for the time being, but I'm fairly positive. I don't own any NEO, but I'm fairly positive on kind of the development that they have going on. There's certain critiques in regards to their kind of how the platform is set up. I did have a chance to hear Dahong Fei speak in San Francisco last week, or Monday or Tuesday, I think, of this week. So he spoke at a conference I was at in San Francisco. It's a pretty small crowd too, so it's kind of cool to hear him speak. I liked for the most part what he had to say. It's everybody is coming out with these different versions of these different flavors and these different editions of platforms, and nobody really knows which one is right or which one's wrong. Everybody's just kind of trying to figure it out as they go and trying to say, like, okay, here's what we're going to do. Yeah, so somebody says NEO is the Chinese Ether. Not necessarily. I think that was what really drove NEO up initially, but I think now that's not necessarily it's not like I don't think NEO is like the Chinese state-sponsored Ethereum. Nick, Electronium staying off exchanges in the short term to avoid volatility suggests better long-term strategy. So I don't know specifically what that might be about, but to be honest, I would say that I don't think there's many projects in the space right now that purposely stay off exchanges. They either don't feel like paying the money to either don't feel like paying the money to get onto exchanges, or they've tried to get onto the exchanges and they can't. Most projects will not ever, if Binance comes to a project, or if they have an opportunity to get listed on Binance or on Bittrex or on Huobi or whatever, they're not going to be like, nah, man, I'm good. I don't want to be on Binance. I don't want to be on Binance. I don't want the volatility. Like it's crypto. It's going to be volatile regardless. So I think that that's probably a silly, to be honest. It's kind of a moot point. But I mean, some companies just don't feel like paying. It costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, in a lot of cases, to get listed. On a Binance or on a KuCoin or on a lot of these other centralized exchanges. If you're not aware, that's how much it costs. There are significant listing fees. So when you have an ICO, when you have a product, when you have a plat, when you have something going on there and you want it to get listed, there's number one, there's a queue. Costs more than $80,000 to get listed on Binance, brother. There's also middlemen involved as well.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is final voting announcement for China Southern Airlines flight CT300, closure with Delta 7750 to Guangzhou. All remaining passengers, please proceed to
So taking a look at some of these questions while somebody's yelling in the background. Is BitConnect like the Phoenix now? It's ashes and it's going to stay ashes. It's never going to rise, brother. It's never going to rise. 直飞广州的最后一次登机广播，请尚未登机的旅客马上前往登机门 A5进行登机。谢谢您的合作。 What do you think about? So somebody came out. So somebody said, any thoughts on Bitcoin private? Should have taken your advice and taken profits on ZCL, but dev team seems to be working hard. I don't know. There's a lot of people that hate Bitcoin private, and there's a lot of people that made trades on Bitcoin private that I think were pretty solid, and or ZCL. Mostly the trade was on ZCL because Bitcoin private has basically done nothing but go down since it has launched. It went up maybe 80-90% the other day, but the volume is still minuscule for the size of what Bitcoin private is. I think it's like a $600 million cryptocurrency when you consider the overall supply, although there's probably, what's the actual supply? Because there's a lot of people that, the big thing with Bitcoin private is there's a lot of the ecosystem where it forked off Bitcoin, but I'm sure there are many people that actually don't have access to those forked coins. Don't have access to those forked coins. So I'm not. I don't know. I'd like to see like more volume in them to get on an actual exchange and people to actually use that. But I'm not like super bullish on Bitcoin private. It's just not my cup of tea. Salesman's credits lost momentum for some reason. Very fast transactions, over 400,000 a second. I get emails from credits all the time. I don't know why I get emails from credits all the time. I'm not a big fan of credits. Let me see they can do $400,000 or 400,000 transactions a second. I mean, until that point, I think it's mostly just shilling and I don't know. I've seen a lot of I don't see any evidence that they could. I'm literally sitting right behind like a massage. That's like a massage place. where I'm at, yeah. That's. I mean, from my opinion, I'm just not a big fan of credits. Do you have some guests lined up, or you'll find out once you're there? Yeah, I should have a number of interviews. I don't have anything necessarily lined up off the top, but I'll have a number of interviews. I'll have a number of interviews in the while I'm there. I think I'm literally going to be like sitting in a little media pit or something like that. I brought my camera, so hopefully that goes well. Should be a good time for sure. Though I'm excited about that. I actually forgot my tripod though, so I don't know how the hell I'm gonna do that. I'm excited to see Dubai. Yeah, I've never seen Dubai. And never been there. Never really been to that part of the country, that part of the world at all either. So I'm excited. There's a cocktail event at some big hotel, some like super tall hotel.
Any other
So
airlines
I'm
boarding passes?
excited to drink on like the
Please
75th
proceed to
floor of some
boarding
hotel
gate
as well.
A5 with your passport or your new boarding pass. Thank you for your cooperation.
I'm not there that long. I'm pretty much working the whole time now. Go live there. I'll definitely try to. I bought data, so if I'm on Wi-Fi, I'll go live. I'm gonna make videos from there as well. So I'll definitely try to. Do that. Go live, show you guys around. I'll
This is the
try to
final
do like
boarding
a maybe
announcement
like
for
a
China
halfway
Southern Airlines CT200
vloggy type thing, but I don't have a film crew and I'm not really that
Guangzhou.
professional, so
All remaining passengers,
don't
please
expect any
proceed to
Steven
gate
Spielberg
A5
productions at all.
immediately for boarding. This is the last and final announcement for boarding.
Have you checked out WanChain? It's a new ICO, so they're going to be there. It's anticipated it's been blowing up. WanChain is already blown up. I don't own any WanChain. But yeah, WanChain was up 15, 18x of what it is, of what it was. So
请尚未登机的旅客马上前往登机门 A5进行登机，谢谢您的合作。
can you talk about NAV? I haven't done a ton of research into NAV for the time being. I looked at it back in September. There's other privacy coins that I have more interested in. I've been scaling into Monero quite a bit. That's been one that some people like, some people don't love. But I've been scaling into Monero. I have a holding of Zcash, although I don't. I'm a Zcash bag holder, but I do think Monero, for like the amount of use it gets and for the kind of the entire, I don't want to say community, but there's actually users of Monero. I think that it's pretty tremendously undervalued in comparison to many of the other platforms that have like literally no transactions happening on it, and like development and a lot of other things. So I am more on the Monero side than the NAV or the Zcash side at this point in time, or on the rates side. Somebody asking about EOS. EOS first drop tomorrow. Geez, that lady's so loud. Holy hell.
Please proceed to gate A5 immediately to take your boarding pass and passport verification. Thank you.
So somebody mentioned ontology. So ontology is an interesting one. I did some research on. I did some research. No, I'm not still holding beneath. Thank God, no. So I did some research on ontology on my last flight from San Francisco. I liked what my last flight from San Francisco, I looked at Ravencoin, I looked at Zilliqa, I looked at Ontology. Ontology seemed like the most ambitious project. It seemed kind of buzzwordy to me a little bit. There was definitely the most going on in the white paper. Like, it was pretty hard to digest, to be honest with you. It's not. It's like Ravencoin was a very simple white paper. Zilliqa was I thought concise and also a solid white paper. Ontology was like, we're going to do 75 different things, and we're going to do a lot of different things. We're doing this, we're doing that. And I looked at it, and the team seems pretty impressive, but I didn't make any specific moves into it, so I'm kind of holding off on it for now. And it also pumped pretty hard while everything else was in a bear market, and while everything else has been pulling, or had been moving up in the past 48 hours or so, Ontology kind of chilled out for the time being. Awesome. Well, I think I have to go to my gate in the near future here. So appreciate you guys taking the time to hang out with me a little bit here. Sorry for the lack of a professional video or anything like that. But like I said, I'll be in Dubai, and I'm going to be out there specifically for the World Blockchain Forum. So I'll be making content for you guys. I will try to go live. I brought my fancy camera, webcam, all that stuff. So I'll be out there making content for you guys. So it should be a good time. Really do appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button, the like button if you enjoyed the video. It definitely helps to get the video out as much as possible. And if you're new here by any chance, hit the subscribe button Thank you guys. I hope you have a great Saturday wherever you might be at. And take it easy. Peace, everybody.